All right, well, everybody, welcome to the Mortgage Update with Mike and Joe. Joe, I'm having a hard time looking at you and taking you seriously with that hat on.
So, Mike,
right now.
I made some bold predictions the last time we had our podcast.
You did.
And
You
so
did.
far, they're looking great. I had to go out and get some new gear.
You did.
The chicken wing shirt. This
chicken
was
wing
inspired
shirt.
by training camp.
Yeah.
I saw somebody with this on. It really, actually was a full
I
suit.
thought it was a drumstick at first when I looked at it, but then as I looked closer,
It's
yeah,
chicken
it's
wings,
a chicken
yeah.
wing.
And
Okay.
then the hat.
And the
I
hat-
love
the
these
hat
hats.
is-
Although
don't know.
I kind of miss my furry warm hat, so
Right.
we'll have to put this into the rotation, I guess.
That hat's got some legs to it, without a doubt. So
It does for sure.
I-
My prediction: 12-5 Super Bowl. We're looking good.
Yeah, you are looking good. I mean, obviously, the game was last night. They look great. The defense looked good, even though.
I mean,
and I think Von Miller made a play or two.
Von Miller has 2 sacks in a row. 2 games, 2 sacks.
So maybe he's back.
Keep that pace alive. Be the
He's
sack
back.
leader for the year.
That's
but
right.
shut down that number 1 prolific offense that Miami has.
That's right. That's
I like
right.
it with some backups in there too.
Exactly. So exciting. So the next game's
Season of hope.
is next Monday.
Next Monday we got Jacksonville coming to town.
Okay, great. Listen, well, let's shift gears to the mortgage business and real estate. So obviously it was a big week, obviously, for me last week.
Yeah, huge week for you.
Yep.
I'm going to be the first to, well, probably not the first, but say congratulations for being sworn in as this
Yep.
year's president of the New York Mortgage Bankers Association.
Yeah, no,
You got a lot of work cut out for you.
I do. But, I think it's, I'm super thrilled to do it. I know it's going to be a lot of work, but, obviously the mortgage industry has been very good to me. I think it's a way to give back. We're actually, as you know, Joe, from being there, the whole theme of the event and what we're trying to do this year is to really begin to put together a framework to address the inventory problems that we have, or the lack of affordable housing. It's been going on for some time. It's not going to be solved, in a year, but we really want to try to, put some work into it and see if we can't make a dent into this problem. So speaking of that, I think as folks that have listened to us, throughout, really now the years, you'll know that GRB, we work hard and we play hard, right?
Yep,
So
100%.
So we've got a big event coming up for the United Way. You want to tell everybody about it and what's involved?
So really excited for this. October 3rd, we have GRB has been asked, or I should say GRB's band, Refer with Caution, has been asked to participate in a Battle of the Bands. It's going to be held at Three Heads Brewery.
Okay.
There's a band from GRB, a band from ESL, and a band from Excelis.
Okay.
And all proceeds are going to go to United Way. You can go on and vote. For those of our listeners that have seen the GRB band in action before, you can actually vote for them to be winners in this Battle of the Bands.
So how you win is someone's got to actually go in and make a vote.
Everybody's got to go in and make a vote. You do
Gotcha.
have to donate to vote,
Sure.
which is, again, a great cause,
Great
United
idea.
Way. So we're excited for that and think that, big things are coming for a band. As soon as they get seen outside of the GRB walls, I think people might be trying to sign them. I don't know.
And
Might lose some loan officers.
Right. And if anybody wants some Refer with Caution merch, we have it. So we got some T-shirts, we got some mugs. So more to come on that. So, Joe, let's shift gears and talk about the market. Obviously, we're moving into the fall. August, it's just we wrapped up the summer, even though I think we're technically still in the summer. I don't know when the first day of fall is. What, like September
21st.
21st.
Yeah.
So give us an update on what we experienced in August in regards to sales, listing.
Yeah.
What is the data telling us?
We continue to see the only thing hotter than this outfit is the rush to real estate market.
Okay. Feel free to take that hat off, Joe,
All right,
if you want to, but that's up to you.
In Monroe County, we saw in the month of August, again, this is based on the data that GRB sees, we talk
Right.
about this every month. We saw a slight increase in the percent over ask from 12.04%, I'm sorry, slight decrease, 12.04% in July. We were at 11.96 in August, so pretty much about the same. When we take a little bit of a zoom out and look at Monroe and surrounding, we finished the month averaging 8.4 over ask,
Okay.
Which was about 2% below what we saw in July. July was a 10.62, but it's also the lowest that we've seen in February. So, we're starting to see a little bit of a shift in the market. We also saw a slight increase in government volume. We had 16 government applications. It was about almost 14% of our volume. The highest percentage over ask, so, we look at this stuff on a broad level, right? So it was in Greece. There was a listing listed for 139 and it went for 189, 50,000 over ask, 35% over. And then, we had our highest dollar amount over ask was a property in Rochester in 14625 zip code. It went 150,000 over ask, which was about 21%.
Wow.
It was a beautiful house. I did take a look at that, and if we continue to look at where's the hottest area, it usually goes back and forth between Irondequoit and Greece. Last month, Greece was the hottest area. We had 20 transactions in the 14612, 14615, 16, and 26 zip codes. And it ranged from 13.44% over to 35% over ask. The average was about 21% over.
Okay.
And then we did see 7 zip codes that were below ask. So, there are some pockets where people are getting some
It's
houses
very zip
below
code
ask.
specific.
Yep, and we provide this data out. We emailed it out at the beginning of the month. If you haven't received it or seen it, you feel free to reach out to one of your loan officers. They'd be happy to share. So let's just go down the street here to Onondaga County. Onondaga on its own was at 3.89% over ask. We did see an increase in the ask price, or the average list price. Went from 216 to 255 from July to August. And then if we look at Onondaga and surrounding, it was 3.1% over ask. It was about a percent higher than the 2.12 we saw in July. Government volume in Onondaga County made up 15% of the business, but only one of those, in Onondaga and surrounding, but only one of those transactions were actually in Onondaga County, and the remaining 4 were in the surrounding counties.
Okay.
And, so again, same thing we're tracking. Highest percentage over ask was 27%, and there were 4 zip codes in the area that had averages below ask.
Okay. So Joe, hey, thanks for that update. So this is a big week coming up. So obviously on Wednesday, September 18th, the Federal Reserve is going to meet. Obviously, they're going to provide their feedback, and the expectation is that they're going to, lower the rates. There is a, debate at this point whether it's going to be 0.25%, 0.5%, but the consensus, is that they are going to drop rates. And what we have seen, as you know, Joe, is inflation continues to gradually moderate. The past month, we've seen rates come down a little bit. I mean, not a lot. I mean, right now, where are we right in really kind of the low to mid sixes?
Yep.
So, I mean, rates have come down. That has been what the expectation is. And one of the things that we just want to share with everybody that's listening in is that, one, we can send out to you additional data around what the Mortgage Bankers Association feels is the rate forecast really for the next 3 years. It's just a forecast, but it gives people a sense of the direction of rates appears to continue to very gradually be moving lower, which I think is good news.
Yeah.
And obviously, Joe, if you just want to remind everybody again, about our rate relief, program, and obviously the fact that we've extended that.
Yeah, so, in 2023, when rates started to really go up, we rolled out a program that said if you close your mortgage with us between January 2023 and December of 2025, you could refinance with us with waived reduced costs.
Right.
We'd be waiving our processing fee, our underwriting fee, and an appraisal fee if an appraisal is required.
Right.
And what we did was we now extended that program where if you purchase and close with us, you can refinance by the end of 2027 and take advantage of those discounted costs. So that was big. I think the big thing when we talk about interest rates and the Fed announcement next week, we talk a lot about grabby headlines. That's kind of a grabby headline because, yes, the Fed is going to drop the rates. It's not going to have a huge impact on the 30-year fixed mortgage rate. That's a lot of that pricing has been kind of already baked in per se, to where we saw that drop in rates kind of in anticipation of the Fed lowering the rates. As we've talked about in the past, the 30-year fixed mortgage rate is really tied more to the 10-year Treasury bond
Right.
than it is to the Fed rate. So
Right.
although it's good to see that, inflation's coming down, the Fed is lowering rates, people may think that, oh, they lowered it by 25 basis points, that means my mortgage rate is 25 basis points lower. There's not that direct
Right.
correlation per se.
Yeah. So Joe, obviously since the last time we spoke, obviously big changes within the real estate industry. Obviously the changes in regards to realtor compensation and how that needs to be disclosed has gone into place. Obviously I know that the agents are adjusting to it, but maybe you could kind of speak to that and really what the GRB response
Sure.
has been to try to help that.
Yep. So, with the NAR settlement, they rolled out rules where before an agent can show a buyer a house, they need to enter into a buyer's agreement and agree upon what the compensation will be on that house, or if they represent them in a transaction. And that could range from 0% to 3% to 4%. It's really whatever they negotiate with their agent particularly. And then their agent can try and, which has been the historical case, the seller would pay the buyer's agent commission as part of the transaction, or in this case, if they agree to it, the buyer could pay it directly to the agent if they wanted to.
Right.
And so, with these changes, as we always do, we rolled out a product that we thought would help in some instances where the buyer would have to pay for that buyer's commission. And what we've done is we've created this product, and it's called the GRB's Welcome Home. And what that product is we've been in this community and doing mortgages, and we're very well known from a mortgage standpoint. We do commercial lending and we do retail lending. And sometimes what we find is people do mortgages with us, they don't necessarily know that we're a bank, and that we have the opportunity to open checking accounts, savings accounts, and we provide excellent service on all fronts that we do, right? And so, in trying to grow those relationships with our client base, if our client comes and opens an account with GRB prior to application, and they just open an account and then they apply for a mortgage with us, meaning that they've gotten under contract and they're ready to ready to go forward with a mortgage transaction, they can get up to a 0.5% credit based on their loan amount towards their closing costs, just for opening up a checking account.
So if someone borrows $200,000, they're going to get $1,000.
$1,000 credit
Okay.
on their closing
Right.
disclosure. If they open that account and they establish a relationship, a monthly direct deposit of $1,000 or more per month prior to application, so that deposit has to come in prior to our application date, they can get up to a 1% credit based on their loan amount. So same scenario, $200,000 mortgage, they can get a $2,000 credit on their closing disclosure for having that existing relationship with the bank.
That's great.
So, again, this is not only to help with realtor commissions, it can help with closing costs. You could use that credit to potentially buy your interest rate down, pay an upfront mortgage insurance premium. There's a lot of different ways we can use that credit to help buyers qualify and get into homes. And also help offset some of that cost if they do have to pay the commission. So we're very excited about this program. I know we launched it about a week and a half ago. We've had some people come in and open accounts already.
That's great.
And we don't only want to be your mortgage company, we want to be your bank.
Right, exactly. That's great. So we're excited about that, Joe. I'm impressed that you wore the hat the entire
time.
The entire podcast. It looks great. Again, just want to remind everybody, Joe and I are always looking to ensure that we're providing content that is timely, content that you can use. Obviously, I think, this next 60 days, obviously, we didn't really talk about it, but this is an election year. There's going to be a lot going on around that. Certainly, as that begins to unfold, we'll try to share with everybody kind of what things might look like from a housing perspective, a real estate perspective, a lending perspective, contingent upon who actually gets in office. So
Yep.
more to come on that. But again, if there's other topics that are important for us to address and talk about, please let us know. And how can people let us know, Joe?
They can throw questions at grbbank.com/MJ.
Okay.
But more importantly, don't forget to like and subscribe. and watch our shorts, because we got records to break here.
That's right. That's right. So, all right, everybody, well, thank you for listening in, and have a great day. We'll see you.